I want to make sure I give you something free because I love this platform that Trevor and Shay have created, and they're pouring into you, and so it's only my joy and my pleasure to pour into you as much as they're pouring into you by hosting this 72-hour event. When you make the decision, the intentional decision to give more power to your abilities, your possibilities, your probabilities, they eventually become realities. But you've got to be willing to draw that line in the sand and say, never ever will I concede to what's comfortable, to what's familiar for me. I tell my clients, look, you want to see change in the next 6 months? You really want to do something different? You really want to see what you can accomplish? Divorce what I call ing, I-N-G, and marry Ed. What do I mean by that? Sometimes we get stuck in a place of ing, ing. We're married to ing. I'm planning, I'm thinking, I'm brainstorming, I'm creating. But we never come into a space where we finally divorce ing and marry Ed. I planned something. I created, I completed, I executed, I brainstormed and accomplished. You've got to be willing at some point to say, I'm coming out of the phase of thinking and planning and go into the phase where I actually executed it, and now I can see the results. And now I can also see where I can make improvements to make it better and better and better. And as you continue to be open, with an open mind, to be teachable, to learn what can make it better, you become better. You keep growing. So let's keep moving. Principle number 5 of never ever. Never ever fuel your fears. You've got to be willing to eliminate the fears, to diminish the fears, instead of allowing the fear to have a louder voice than your voice of reason that tells you, yes, you can nurture your possibilities. Yes, they can become probabilities and realities. So never ever fuel your fears. So what fuels fear? Number 1, procrastination. I meet men and women at events that I speak at, and they say, I know I have a book in me, or I've been working on my book for 2 years now. Get the book done. Stop procrastinating. And that procrastination goes hand in hand with perfection. How many of you have read a New York Times bestseller? I know there are tons of you out there. And my question is, have you ever read a New York Times bestseller and you discovered a typo? Yeah, I have. More than one typo. But guess what the difference is between them and you? The difference between them is that they printed that book with the typo and they are making their millions, while you are still tweaking and trying to make it perfect and you're broke. So we've got to stop fueling our fear that it has to be perfect. That if it's not perfect, oh, I got to work on it a little bit more, and then maybe. And that little bit more turns into another month. And then that turns into 3 months, and then 6 months. And then you're the person who's saying 2 years later, oh, I have a great book in me, but I just haven't printed it yet. I just haven't published it yet. So stop procrastinating. Make sure you kick it into high gear. After this 72 hours, during the 72 hours, you should be making a list of the things that you're going to do immediately. We've got to stop thinking about what we want to do, praying and hoping and wishing, and get into action. Action is the only thing that's going to get you results. Take risks. Do you see that picture? Fuel your faith more than your fears. Take risks. I did this the year before last. I decided that, my brand is all about being fearless enough to go get what you want. And for me, I really wanted to prove to myself, not to anybody else, I wanted to prove that I could walk the talk, not just talk the talk. You ever have those business owners, they talk a good game, they sound good, but they're really not, their brand isn't really connected. They're not living what they're talking. I didn't want to be that way. So I said, how do I prove to myself that I've actually committed to my brand? And I said, well, I need to find the thing that scares me the most, not just in business, but in life in general, and I need to go and do that thing. When I did it, when I intentionally took the action to walk through the fear, not try to overcome the fear, because I don't believe you can overcome it, but to walk through the fear, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. It was completely different than anything I'd ever imagined it would be. It was so amazing. I would do it again.